Hello friends, welcome to this yin yoga class for connecting to the earth. I'm going to use a block for today's sequence. Feel free to grab one if you have one, and then create a space where you're free from distraction and disturbances, getting yourself comfortable for today's poem, which is entitled Earth. Awaken, stir, discern the dream from waking life. Feel into my body. Be open to receiving what she has to offer. Breathe into the places she's holding on. Gently, with gratitude, release my grasp of what I can't control and get busy with what I can. Breathe, write, offer prayers and love to Mother Earth. Tell her we're doing all that we can and don't stop growing until it's true. Together, we're a forest. So I breathe that into my bones. I am safe, I don't have to do this alone. Close my eyes, connect. See myself in a vast network of roots and matter, earth stuff, intelligence we've barely even fathomed yet. Breathe into that, so that the overwhelm that floods my heart flows out across the river. See myself as a single cell on the body of a creature so alive, attuned and awake, I cannot imagine her demise. I do not let it enter the clear sky of my mind. Breathe, write, offer her my prayers and love. Tell her we're doing all that we can until it's true. True that we are tending to the garden of our being, so that we can thrive together whole as one. We're going to get straight into it today in frog pose. So find your ujjayi breath, that's our oceanic breath, gentle contraction of your throat muscles. And take it from me, this is going to really help with this pose as it can feel quite intense on the old body. So widening your knees as wide as they can go today. And for the full frog, we're going to bring the ankles down in line with the knees. And then sway gently, because you'll know that sweet spot, or that fiery spot perhaps, where the hips are in line with your knees and you can really get into the connective tissue. I like to rest my head on a block on this one. You're welcome to do the same. And then connect with that ujjayi breath as we root down deep into the earth. Maybe you want to send your attention down deep. See those roots, those tendrils tickling the earth, the soil. Surrender to gravity as we sink down into the bones of the body. If we can relax in a posture that is potentially very challenging, not only does this free up space and release tension through our fascia, we're going to create spaciousness in the mind as well, releasing resistance wherever you can. How deep can you go today without forcing? The earth does not respond to force. The earth responds to slow, steady patience. She responds deeply to our paying attention. And that's where, incredible beauty reveals itself. Three more breaths, my friends. Ujjayi is your friend. Let's make it steady, soothing. And begin lifting yourself up as tenderly as you can be. Draw your knees back in, and you might like to come into a wide-kneed child's pose, or bring your knees together now and let your body fold over the top. Stay here in your child's pose for another few rounds of breath. The earth element is so much about tending and allowing ourselves to be held by something so much faster, so much stronger than what we could ever be alone. So I invite you to really sink the weight of your body down in this child's pose. Let the tenderness of the Mother Earth hold you in your practice. And we'll come forwards onto our belly, ready for Sphinx pose. Another shape that encourages us to drop into the bones of the body. So we start by propping up onto the forearms. And of course, if your body ever complains loudly about being in any of these shapes, you can take a gentler variation. As before, our block is pretty handy if you'd like to rest the weight of your head on and have a nice long neck. Otherwise, we can open up our throats here. The aliveness of nature, something that has long been a theme in my creative practice, my yoga practice. Pretty much everything now is informed by this deep love and awe for the natural world. And remembering the earth as this beautiful being that is very much alive. When we start to look inwards at the landscape of the body, you meet just as many miracles on the inside as well. If you wish to deepen your back bend, feel free to come up into seal pose. Always looking after yourself, tending that garden of life. I hope you can hear the kookaburras. They're very playful this morning. A few more breaths, friends. Deeply grounding into that earth element. Feel the bones of your body sink down deep. If you're in a sphinx, come on back to, or seal rather, come back to sphinx. And from sphinx, let's nestle down into the earth, making a cushion for your head and resting your ear to the earth. You may wish to bend your knees, take a gentle rock from side to side. And in your own time, we'll come on back to a seat. Maybe a little puppy stretch along the way. Ready for square pose, another nice deep hip opener. I would recommend a block for this one. If you are a little newer to the practice or just want to take a more gentle option, having your legs in Sukhasana or cross-legged seat and starting to walk your hands forward is just as beautiful an option here. Or for a slightly deeper option, square pose, so stacking the legs. Another name for this is Firelog pose, so we're stacking one log on top of the other, a very earthy shape as we get into these beautiful hips. And then the block is handy either to rest your hands on as we ease down into the depths, or maybe eventually you rest your forehead on top. Don't think I'm quite there yet. And then the art of deep listening is something that is ever so vital when it comes to connecting with the earth. Anyone who meditates or spends time outdoors will understand that this act of listening is deeply transformative. Maybe that's why I love Yin Yoga, because it too is a practice of listening to the whispers of the body. And in time, as we get just a little bit more space, maybe we find a deeper version of the posture. 3 more breaths. Rising up, and bring your hands back around to support you as we unravel those lovely legs. The quality of earth is intrinsic to yin. We are moving slow and going into the deep layers of the body. When you're ready, option for a gentle sway. And we've lost sight of it in this modern life, but there's a concept called deep time, where we remember mountains and canyons and things that take millennia to form. I'm just considering how fast we expect results. It's quite contrary to our nature. So thank yourself for practicing yin yoga today. We're going to do the opposite side now. So just remembering what you did last time. We're going to stack those shins or cross your legs, whatever feels most appropriate for you today. And if there's a substantial gap here, you can always be popping the block there instead and make sure you support those beautiful knees. The benefits of this shape include lengthening the muscles and tissues at the lower back and, of course, opening our hips. Taking a few breaths and then we'll drop down into silence. There's definitely not as much space on this side of my body. And approaching yourself with curiosity is another key aspect to this practice. As Ram Dass says, we don't go into the forest expecting every tree to be the same or demanding why they look the way they do. And so when it comes to the practice of yoga, meeting yourself where you're at, it's all part of this cultivation of compassion. My day is not going to be better or worse if I get my head onto that brick. But how kind I can be to myself will definitely impact the quality of my day. Couple more breaths. sweeping your hands behind, ready to support your body as we unpretzel the legs. Deep listening now to the sensations of your body. And I try to let everything go quiet before we think about bringing in movement. Don't want to miss any of those whispers. And as you're rocking, ease your way forward so that you've got lots of space to roll down to your back. And we're going to bring this block underneath the sacrum, which is that flat bone at the base of your body. Medium height setting is a nice place to start, and then you can either increase or decrease depending on how you feel. Supported bridge pose. Now, option for the legs to stay bent. You'll feel this beautiful release through the hip flexors. And if you want to extend your legs, feel free. I also quite like to take the arms over the head in this one and begin melting down into the earth, feeling held, feeling completely and utterly supported. Just a little fun fact. These beautiful muscles, the psoas, it's the muscle that connects our lower body to the torso. And because we spend much of our day seated like this, they shorten, and when we experience stress, they tense. So if we're sitting at desks feeling stress or overwhelm in that busy work day, this is just the most beautiful medicine to lengthen out that part of the body. And I've done courses on the psoas muscle, just that one little strip. So fascinating. And why am I talking about muscles in a practice that targets our connective tissue? Well, every one of your muscles, joints, ligaments, organs is enveloped in this gorgeous fascia. In yoga, we treat the body as a whole, no separate parts. Maybe you can allow your breath to receive that message. And just as there's no separation between all the different parts that make you you, it's possible that there's no real separation between this body and that body of the earth outside. Maybe we're all so intricately connected after all. Start to rebend your knees if your legs are outstretched. And we're going to be tender with ourselves here. Support your lower back, gentle kiss of the belly button to the spine. And raise your hips and draw that block out from beneath you. Sink in. And perhaps bring your knees to your chest and circle. Massage your lower back. We'll keep the right knee close, coming into supine twist. As you guide your leg across your body, your brick is here if you want to support. Otherwise, you can take the block away and reposition yourself so you feel like you're getting an opening either in the lower back by guiding this knee in line with your hip, or you can draw the knee upwards to target the midsection of the spine. And by opening up the shoulder and perhaps looking over the right shoulder, you start to ease space into the upper section of your spine as well. And even here, I can feel my hand. It's pulling my knee towards the earth, and there's no reason to be doing that. So I'm just going to release my arms out long, so I'm not tempted to start contorting my body into this shape and let it unfold over time. Can you listen to the sound of these next 3 breaths? Ujjayi, oceanic breath. Unravel. Bring in your body back to center. Relax your arms down by your side. When you're ready, gather your left knee towards your heart, and we'll start to find our twist over on this side. Maybe you want to take your arms out and just release that temptation to force the body deeper than she's ready to go. Stretching out that glute and lower back. And because we're so preoccupied with our thoughts and our intellect, remembering the body is huge. That's really what drew me to yoga nearly 14 years ago now. Remembering my body that I had completely neglected, not consciously. I didn't even know how to start being friends with this physical space that my mind occupied. It just wasn't part of my education. And whereas through yoga we come to appreciate the sacredness of our bodies, that they're sanctuaries that we'll spend our lifetime in. Nurturing them, tending them as this garden of life. It's much more fulfilling than comparing them, what they look like, what they can do. When we journey inwards, we get to realize all of these miraculous processes just happening without our intervention, connecting us to that seamlessness of life. I don't know about you, but it helps me relax knowing that there's plenty of stuff I don't need to control. And I can just get on with listening, following that inner guidance, being kind, remembering. What is it to be an animal in this wild world? Okay, friends, let's take those last 3 breaths. And coming back to center. Relaxing now. You're welcome to stretch out your legs for Shavasana, or maybe choose to butterfly your feet today. And I'm going to invite a hand to the belly and the other to the heart so we can come into connection with that physical touch. Thank yourself for slowing down, being curious and kind. If your legs are in butterfly, let's start to draw the knees gently back in and wrap yourself up into a hug. effortlessly rocking over to one side on your way back to a seat. Let's find some stillness together. Maybe you want to sit on your block, and all we're going to do is practice this art of deep listening. Position your hands wherever they're comfy. Perhaps soften your gaze. Can you hear that pulse of life surrounding you? And whether it's kookaburras or chaos that you hear in this moment, gather your hands together at your heart and thank yourself for choosing to slow down and to remember. Namaste.